She lived life the way she wanted to and made her dreams come true.
Hello, beautiful being. I'm Trini, and in this video, I'm going to share with you some information about a ritual that I highly recommend and that I absolutely adore. And it's called love binding. Now, love binding is not like most love rituals or love spells. So when most people think of love spells, that's the type of like come to me or love attraction spell where you want someone that's not paying any attention to you, and so you do some work on them, and then they're calling you or they're wanting you or they're pursuing you. Spells like that can go left very quickly if that person is not aligned with your energy and your path. So you might have them for a little while, but you know, it's usually fun and then it's not fun. it can turn very like stalkerish, very like scary very quickly, okay, because you're manipulating that energy and it doesn't usually end up in a positive way if that person was not already attracted to you. Okay, this is not that. So love binding is more about fusion and protection. The way I define love binding is any energetic working or ritual in which you are binding someone's energy to yours, your lover, your spouse. You're binding their energy to yours in order to keep the relationship passionate, to keep them attracted to you, to make sure that there is fidelity within the commitment, and also to dispel any negative energy from impacting your connection with your partner, okay? So it really is a wonderful way to ensure a happy, blissful connection between you and your person and a happy home. Happy home means happy children. I mean, it really is that big of a deal. You know, it's like a lot of people look down on love work, but how important is love to us in our lives? It affects every aspect of our lives at some point. So, something that's really important to ensure is that you do have that commitment from them, because if they're not already committed to you, then it's not really a binding. It's more of just a typical love spell where you're trying to bring them to you, okay? So I always say like either they're living with you or you're engaged or you're married, but you need to have some sort of sustainable sense of commitment between the two of you. Another thing that you want to be aware of is how healthy is the connection currently. If there's work that needs to be done, then please don't just do the binding and think that that's going to resolve everything. The binding does what you program it to do. It will keep them faithful. It will keep your connection very passionate, and it will protect it from outside forces. But if there's already dysfunction within the partnership or within the relationship, you want to address that as well, okay? So if there is any abusive behavior, if there is any sort of whether it's physical or verbal or anything, you want to make sure that you are addressing that, not only from a spiritual perspective and energetic perspective, but also from a physical perspective, a legal perspective. Get the help that you need in order to make sure that your relationship is getting on the right track, okay? So the best time to do a love binding is when you are together and things are good. Honestly, that's the best time to do it, because a love binding will sort of keep things nice, okay? So that's really the purpose of it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my 3 favorite ways to perform a love binding ritual. The first one is very simple. You could probably do it in like the next 30 minutes with whatever you have in your home, with things that you already have in your home. The next way involves visualization and sexual magic. And the third method involves candle magic. And so that would involve probably a trip to the Botanica or, you know, getting some candles and some herbs and things like that. But I wanted to show you a variety of ways so that if you want to do this working, you can get started right away. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. We're gonna start with the simplest method first, and it's just a freezer spell. All you're gonna need is a Ziploc bag. You'll need some parchment paper. I swear by this. You can use any kind of paper that you want to, but I really love parchment paper. You can get it at the Dollar Tree. And you need a pencil. If you want to use a magic marker, or sorry, a Sharpie, you can do that. I like pencil, that's fine. And then water. So I'm gonna take a sheet of, or a piece of parchment paper, okay? And this is gonna be your petition. So on there, you're gonna write your intention. Now, you want to be very specific when you're doing that. So let's say I'm married to someone named, let's say I'm married to somebody named Ted. I don't know. So I'm going to say Ted and I'm going to write out that we are bound together. And I like to say it like this. We are bound together in love, lust, fidelity, and passion. Because that covers pretty much everything. You know, it makes sure that you're attracted to one another, that there's fidelity within the marriage. You can put in there that we are protected, our marriage or our relationship is protected from the evil eye, from any negative intentions or bad wishes. And one thing that I wanted to let you guys know about this type of work is that when someone does try something, it will actually have the opposite effect on you. So what you'll notice is, like, if somebody tries to come between you and your person, then that's going to draw you guys closer together than you were before, okay? So you're going to write everything out as if it were in the present tense. We are bound together in love, lust, passion, fidelity, and we're protected from all negative energy, blah, blah, blah. And I like to end it with, so must it be on all dimensions, okay? Then you're gonna fold it, 1, 2, 3. You're gonna put it in the bag. And then you're gonna fill that bag with water. Okay, and then put it down in there, and then seal it. Put it in the freezer, way in the back, and you're good to go. Know that the work is done. The second method involves sexual magic and visualization. Now, what I love about this is that every single time that you're with your person, you can renew the working. If you notice that someone is trying something, then you can renew the working. Also, if you are noticing that you're experiencing a lot of negative energy from other people, then you might want to go ahead and do your love binding, but then follow it up with a return to sender, or a really good protection spell specifically for your marriage and against those people who are trying things against you. Okay, so you can do as much work as you need to, but just the binding in and of itself is going to be extremely effective. So with sexual magic, what you're doing is, when you and your lover are together, it's all about what you're doing in your mind, okay? So you're envisioning, you're setting that intention just like we wrote it down and to make your petition. You are setting your intention and reinforcing that as you are having sex. I'm going to link below a blog that I wrote about sexual magic and the basics of it if you'd like to know more about that. But just know that you are an altar, Okay, and so when you are bringing yourself together with your person, you guys are creating energetic forces that you can work with that energy and send it in the direction that you want it to. So as you are making love, think to yourself about how in love with one another you are. Envision a beautiful rope tying around you where you're both embracing one another and you're just seeing this beautiful energy flow around you that's binding you together. And you can even say things to yourself or just in your mind and focus on that. I do this so often that it comes so naturally. It doesn't seem strange at all. It feels very natural. When you first start, it might feel a little bit odd because you might want to think about something else. But it is a form, sexual magic is a form of meditation because you are focusing your thoughts on a certain outcome, or you're visualizing certain things that you want to happen. So you're going to think about this. You're going to use those visualizations as you are making love. And when you reach orgasm, you are going to continue to think about it and know that the work is done. Now, sexual magic can get very complex in a good way. If you work with other entities or other deities, then they may come to you and want to assist you, okay, during your lovemaking session. It can get very, very interesting. That's why I love it. It's never boring. But just know that that is an option that you have. You can set a candle or light a candle and set your intention prior to making love with your person. And the wonderful thing is that every time you do it, you can set that intention and know that it is just being strengthened and reinforced. Also, I won't go into this a lot in this video, but if you are a woman, then just know that your menstrual blood is extremely powerful. It is primordial energy. It is a primordial force. And if it can nurture and sustain a life growing inside of you, then just think of what it can create for you on the astral realm. So it's very powerful, and just know that. I'm gonna leave it there. I do offer spiritual consultations, so if you have specific questions or you want to know more details about how to do these workings and how to work with your body in this way, then absolutely, I would love to work with you. But it's something that you can also research. You know, the research is out there, the information is out there. And most importantly, if this work really calls to you, then just by me saying what I've already said, it will intrigue you to the point of doing more research, and you'll find the answers that you need. The third way that I'm going to show you involves it's candle magic. Okay, this is the kind of candle that I like to use for love binding. They have different ones. They have face to face. They have the single ones, which would be great because unfortunately they don't have candles that are like together like this where they're same sex. So if you're in a same sex relationship or same gender relationship, that's what I should say, right? Then you would want to you can go to your local botanica and get the single candle, like 2 men or 2 women, and then I'll show you because I bind mine together with ribbon anyway, so you can just do it that way. But hopefully we'll get some candles that have 2 women, 2 men, because we need to get on with that, right? Like, we should be there already. But if you make candles, there's an idea for you. But what I like to do is first I start off by writing my intention. So just like we wrote our intention with the freezer bag spell, you would do that on your parchment paper in the same way for this, okay? So you write your intention. I like to do that first because it really sets the stage for your working, okay? Then you're gonna take your candle and you wanna cleanse it. Now I get mine from a really nice botanica, so I'm using incense. Sorry, I didn't have that on camera. But yeah, you can just cleanse it, make sure that the energy is nice, especially if you ordered online and you don't really know where it's been. You want to just make sure that it has nice, high, clean vibes. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you can etch your name in the candle, okay? So for your person, put their name in there, and then yours as well, okay? All right, so you've done that. Then you're going to put your oils on there, okay? And I have lots of different oils. The oils that I recommend are anything that is about love attraction, magnetism, anything for love, fidelity. You can even, that's a good time to use your come to me, because even though you're already together, you want to stay together. You want to keep that attraction very, very high, right? Very strong. Also, if you want to use something that, it's like whatever you want. If you want peace, you can put that on there, because you're binding that to yourselves as well, okay? And I'm going to use one of my oils as well that I create. Okay, these are available on my website. This is my Can't Touch This. So I like to use protection for everything that I do, because you want to protect yourself and your energy. That's so important. So this is my Can't Touch This oil, and I'm going to put that on there as well. Also, you can use some, and I'm not at my altar. It's going to be kind of fancy. I'm going to show you what it'll look like once I have it all lit up. But you can use some rose, okay? And you can rub that on there. You can also use hibiscus. I love that as well. So you just want to get that all in there. And make sure that you're thinking about your intentions as you're rubbing your herbs and your flowers and all of that into the candle, okay? I'm going to put this all on a plate with other candles lit and herbs, and it's going to be really beautiful. And I'll put the petition underneath the candle, okay? So that is burning just under the candle, and it's sort of like melting over it, and it's really beautiful. When I do these workings with candle rituals, I really love to sit with it, and so that's why it's very involved. That's why I saved this one for last. But you want to sit with it and watch that flame, and really watch it as it's melting, and just think about it and know that it's being done, and envision it and feel it. That's what makes it so powerful. The herbs that I recommend are hibiscus for lust, rose for love, magnolia leaves. I always use magnolia leaves for my bindings, because they are great for fidelity, okay? Anything that vibrates on the frequency that you want to have in your marriage, whether it's peace, abundance, happiness, or what have you, okay? So this is the working, and you can see that I did tie a gold ribbon around the candle to signify the two being joined together, bound together, not only in love, lust, passion, and fidelity, but also in prosperity. So that's the reason for the gold ribbon. And I chose to do this on a Friday. It was the next day after I recorded the video, because I love to connect with the energy of Venus, it's all frequencies of love and beauty and prosperity. Also, you can see that the way the candle is burning down, it's burning very beautifully, and it formed into the shape of a heart. So that is actually one way that Spirit speaks to us through our candle magic. Sometimes you will see certain formations that come through, and it's definitely a message. You can even use your scrying abilities to look into something that may not even look like something as clear as a heart, like in this case, but you can use it to receive messages from spirit. So I hope that this was helpful to you, and let me know if you have questions in the comments below. I wish you peace, joy, and many blessings. Take care.